Welcome back, everyone, to episode 2 of our playthrough. This is Act 1 of the British campaign here on Master of Command. I should let you know that because this is a work in progress, this is an early access release, there are major updates coming to the game. Griffin updated us on a bunch of that stuff yesterday after my first episode had come out. So that'll be coming soon, and I'm going to try not to update my game at least until we can get through this, because I know once they update to the new version, it might mean that this version, this save, doesn't work anymore. So I'm going to try to record ahead as much as I can so we can get through a bunch of this campaign before that happens. And but the changes are good, they're exciting, and they should be reflected in the demo that is available to everyone starting in just 4 days from now. So I can't wait for you guys to get your hands on the game. If you didn't see episode 1 of this, where I kind of went through a lot of the mechanics of the game and how it works and everything, the link is in the description down below. That'll take you back to episode 1. This one, we're just diving right into the action, and we may get to the end of Act 1 in today's episode. We'll see. But for now, I've still got to secure 2 more encampments so I can get those Highland Grenadiers, which I really need to get. We also have 5 convoys that we need to secure, and that'll get us a doctrine, a frontline focused doctrine. So we do have 2 convoys right here, so that's going to help in that process. So we have the option to accept a bribe and let them pass, but the enemy headquarters are going to come 1 week faster. We actually want to try and slow down the headquarters. And so for those who asked how that works, the map is basically you can do what you want. There's no linear place you have to go. Once this meter reaches full, that main enemy army, that boss army, so to speak, is going to hunt us down wherever we are on the map. So it does not matter where we are on the map. That encounter will happen pretty quickly after that meter fills. So this here is going to delay the enemy by a week. So I feel like that's the better option of the two. Sometimes you can get things that'll delay the enemies by months sometimes. So we just didn't get that lucky in this case. So let's go ahead and go to this convoy. We do have a pretty large enemy army that's coming after us. I'm not real excited about that. There we go. We're going to delay the enemy army again. We don't have the funds right now to add another unit to our army. One of the updates that has been made to the game is going to make the British army units bigger. Oh my gosh, there's 2 armies. I wasn't expecting that. That's really unfortunate. Are we going to have to fight one and then fight the other? I don't think we have to fight them at the same time, do we? It doesn't appear that way. Alright, so we are just taking on one of the armies at a time. He's got chasseurs out front, so that's like French light infantry. And playing these games is kind of like playing rock, paper, scissors, right? You find what counters the strengths of a unit, and you use your own strength against that, against his weakness. So in this case, light infantry, really good against other infantry units, but not good in melee combat. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep my provincial cavalry just behind the Gordon Highlanders, and as long as his infantry is getting out in front of the other infantry, his light infantry there, what we'll do is as soon as they fire a volley, we'll send our cavalry in a melee attack, and we should be able to deal with them. He's going to try to shift over this way. You see what he's doing? I think he's trying to avoid my cav. Okay, and his cavalry's coming around right there. All right, here we go. So let's actually, we're going to stop right there. We got our volley off. We need to wait for him to fire a volley now because I don't want to get lit up. Although we're already, we've already taken him down by half in terms of his. There we go. Let's hit him. Now's the time to hit them. They're already close to breaking anyway. Chasseurs do not do well in melee combat. There you go, we broke them. Now we gotta wait for the charge bar to come down before... Okay, we shattered them. Perfect. I need this battle to go as quick and painless as possible for me. since we're going to immediately have to fight another one. Got our grenadiers out here on the left flank. 25th Regiment of Foot has had to condense just because they're so close to those other units. We didn't exactly advance in good order. Was that his cav? Did we drive his cav off already too? We did. Awesome. The Grenadiers must have done that. And again, they're rock, paper, scissors. Grenadiers, good counter to enemy cavalry. They're heavy infantry. So just as our cav does good on light infantry, our heavy infantry does good against cav. Alright, we already drove off the row of recruits, both sets. So now what we got to do is just... Okay, we shattered them. This is awesome. It's going really well. Now we need to get up there and hit the artillery as quick as we can. Alright, we shattered those guys. So it's just a matter of mopping up with the artillery now. They're the only ones that are left. Cavalry's going to have to charge up the hill to hit him, but good news is we're going to get there before he can reload. So he's not going to be able to hit us with canister. There we go. All right, that could not have gone better. Desperately needed quick, easy victory because we're about to face another one. I'm hoping that this guy's showing a flag, which means he's probably going to try to run away rather than engage me. And that might not be the worst thing in the world. I've got plenty of recruits right now. I'd like to get the veterancy. I need to level these guys up as quick as I can. Okay, do we have anything that we're ready to go with? Our redcoat recruits can now update. Oh, did they change the prices? I think because there was an update to the game that I installed. As you can see, it actually looks like it's going to cost more than it used to do this stuff. I think this stuff was cheaper last I checked. So yeah, the game's going to change every time there's an update. That's obvious. I mean, that's just the nature of these kinds of games. Yeah, we now need 6 to get veteran foot. We didn't need to used to need that many for that. All right, that definitely made it more challenging. Though it felt like the enemy army broke a little easier, so I think there's probably some trade-offs there. All right, we're going to go ahead and get some more Highland foot. You can see now 1,200. That is the new max for these units. They used to be 1,000 for the British, so they did make that update. Doesn't look like the existing units can go up to 1,200 though. It looks like it's only we got a little typo there too, replenishing. We'll have to let him know about that. So I think at this point, let's see. We got the Brunswick, we got Highland foot there, redcoat recruits, British Grenadiers. Eventually what I want to do is I want to get a full Highland brigade. But we're not quite there yet. However, these guys being Highland foot, I think we are going to go ahead and update them. And they are going to get the name of my favorite Highland unit of all time, the Black Watch. The Black Watch today is still an existing unit. They've amalgamated, they've consolidated. I believe they're 3 Scots. That's the 3rd Battalion of the Scots Regiment. But originally there were multiple battalions of the Black Watch. So we're going to get them going here. We don't have a lot of great options as far as updates to give them at the moment. But we'll get those as the battles commence in the near future here. Okay, so we're going to head down to this outpost. Let's see. Oh, we can delay the enemy by 2 weeks. That'll tap us out on reservists, though. I don't know how I feel about that. I'll take the delay, though. I really can. Take all the time I can get. Here's another convoy down here, and then I see another one over there to the west. Those are going to be the 2 that I need in order to get that frontline focus doctrine. So we are buying ourselves some time here. Let's see. Delay it another week. Yes, please. Let's go over here to these slums so we can hopefully find some material, some supplies in here. We can add some field musicians, add some bagpipers. Yeah, we're going to get the Pipers, and you know why we're going to get the Pipers is because we're going to add those to the Black Watch. I probably need to update their flag to reflect the proper Black Watch flag, but we're not there yet. I'm not doing too much of that in this particular campaign. Eventually, we're definitely going to do a lot of customization, because that's a big part of what makes this game fun, I think. So here's a battlefield, and a lot of times you're just looking for stuff, and in this case we don't have an officer in reserve, so we don't have the ability to do the duel there. Sometimes you find equipment laying around. Okay, we're about to get the frontline focus doctrine. Alright, cool. We seize 3 weapons as well. So frontline focus means we take 15% fewer or less damage on the front line, but flanking damage is increased, so we have to really be cautious about our flanks. Now we've got some new weapons. The Tulla muskets might be the best. Now the Neustadt muskets I think are probably the best option here. Let's go ahead and equip those with Grenadiers. We'll give the Tulla muskets to the Black Watch. Alright, so now we need to secure 2 more encampments, and then we just need to worry about trying to build up our army before the big final showdown. Alright, we just caught up to an enemy force that really did not want to fight me, and I can see why. He does have some chasseurs, some cavalry, some row recruits, a battalion of artillery, but then some fusiliers. I feel pretty good about our chances in this one. So in this case, I'm actually going to pretty much sit tight. Remember, we've got to make sure our flanks are secure. I'm going to go ahead and extend the line across these woods and into that high ground there, and then we've got the river to anchor our flank on that side. Everybody else, we're just going to kind of move up and sit tight, and then I'll try to do the same thing with the chasseurs if I can. If they stay out in front, we'll send in our cav to go after them. Okay, here come the chasseurs. Somehow I think, yeah, that's funny. These guys went over to that side, these guys went over to that side. His artillery has already come across. As soon as his chasseurs get into line and they fire a volley, we're going to go ahead and hit them. It looks like they're firing at will. Charge, baby. Hit them. There we go. Beautiful. Chasseurs are great. That light infantry is great, but you've got to keep it close with the main body of infantry. You get them out in front like that, you let the cav do its thing without having to worry about infantry support. Now we just wait for the main body to arrive and we just hit them. This should be a pretty easy victory. Okay, we're going to fill these guys into this spot here. Oh, now his cav's coming in. He always sends his cav right into where my grenadiers are. Not quite sure why he does that. You can see their morale's already pretty low. Now he's charging into my red coat recruits. He knows that that's my weakest link on the line. But one well-placed volley takes care of them. The problem is now I sent my cav on a charge and I can't stop it. I can't stop the charge because as long as that charge meter's up like that, so they're going to charge until they hit those guys. And now they're going to get driven back because they're completely surrounded. So I might suggest that maybe that's a change we need to make in this game, is that you ought to be able to call off a charge if the target of your charge has shattered and is no longer a valid target. Yeah, it seems like the battles have gotten a little easier as far as taking on the enemy, but now it's much harder to level up your troops. Let's go ahead and get my redcoat recruits over here to fire on them. One more volley should be enough to finish them off. Now we're going to wait for these guys to come back. Alright, let's let the Black Watch finish off the Swiss Fusiliers. Although I got my Brunswick Musketeers coming in to help out too. Now the redcoat recruits are going to get their chance. Sending the Grenadiers after the Royal recruits back there. As soon as these guys break, that'll be the end of this battle. There it is. Okay, so we're kind of in the home stretch toward the boss battle of Act 1. In the meantime, we're trying to build up our forces as much as we possibly can to give ourselves the best chance to take them on. I'm going hard after veterancy. I need to get those leveled up as much as possible. We got a promotion for our 2nd Brigade commander. Let's go ahead and see what the options are there. Range 10%, charge -5. I don't charge a lot with my infantry, so I like the idea of additional range. Let's go ahead and replenish. Looks like we're out of ammunition, so we're going to need to buy some more ammunition. I've also got enough money to buy another unit, which we may do here soon. Okay, so we've got 753 at the moment. We definitely have enough for another unit. It might be time for some artillery. Although, yeah, I don't know. These guys have 6-pounder guns. Yeah, I think we're going to go ahead and get some artillery. So that's going to fill up our 2nd Brigade now. It costs 810 to get a 3rd one. I'd like to have a 3rd one by the time we face the enemy. We also need to get some more ammo. It pretty much wipes us out of ammo, but at least everybody's full at the moment. So let's go ahead now. We need to find these other 2 encampments. That'll get us Highland Grenadiers, which would be the start of our next brigade. There's an encampment right there. That'll get us one of the 2 we still need. We are getting toward the end of that timer, though. So we need to find that last encampment as soon as we possibly. Oh, there's another one down here to the southeast. That'll be the last one we need. Okay. Send officers for studying. All officers gain experience. We don't have the ammunition to be able to do that. Alright, we've got one more encampment. That'll get us that unit. The next thing we need to do is we need to try and find some enemy units to fight so that we can, number 1, get experience, but number 2, get money and equipment that we can sell in order to get enough to get that last brigade. Let's see. Okay, here's a enemy field army. Let's face them. There's our Highland Grenadiers. Excellent. So for now, I'm actually going to replace the artillery with the Highland Grenadiers, and we are going to go ahead and name this the Highland Brigade, because I think we've got enough Highland units now that we can do that. Or nearly so. We've got the Black Watch, we've got the Gordon Highlanders. We're going to have to rename these Highland Grenadiers, and then we've got the Brunswick Musketeers. So this is a better army. You can see these indications here that they're a more skilled army than we have previously faced. They've got Irish Fusiliers. They do have Royal recruits. Well, I guess they're not that skilled. They've got the recruits do have some levels to them, but we shouldn't have any trouble with this one. Hopefully we don't take too many casualties, and this is going to pretty much set us up. I'm guessing we're going to face anywhere from 10 to 12,000 in that main boss army that we fight at the end, and it does get significantly harder once we get to Act 2, so don't think it's always going to be as easy as it seems to be at the moment for us. We're going to have the Highland Grenadiers kind of in reserve for now, until I see what he does. He does have some artillery, otherwise mostly Royal recruits. He does have the Fusiliers over here on our right. You know what I might do actually is I think I'm going to send the Grenadiers around, try to get out on that the left flank of the Fusiliers. Okay, the Black Watch is going to be right there. This is our Highland Brigade on the right. And then we've got the British Grenadiers, the 25th Regiment of Foot, and our Redcoat recruits here in the center. So much fire being poured on these guys. I love it. It's going to take a while for the Highland Grenadiers to get into position. I'm going to try to make them go faster. Alright, let's get down here and watch the Black Watch a little bit. They don't look like the Black Watch. They don't have that familiar tartan of the Black Watch, but that's okay. So much smoke on the battlefield. Oh no, I didn't mean to do that. Irish Fusiliers are about to break. The Royal Recruits are about to break. These guys are definitely about to break. Look at that. 25th Regiment of Foot has taken 36 casualties and inflicted 193. I mean, we are just lighting these guys up right now. Redcoat recruits might shatter these recruits when they fire on them again. Nah, not quite. I think the Gordon Highlanders are going to get another shot off, though. Alright, we got to get out there and get after that artillery. Our Highland Grenadiers aren't going to get the chance to fight, I don't think. Black Watch took some casualties, 193. Alright, where's our cav? Let's get them going. We're going to go after that artillery. Shatter those Royal Recruits, Gordon Highlanders. Come on. We got to catch up to them. Reload before they get out of range. There you go. Fire. No, they didn't shatter them. Alright, our provincial cav. Oh, some of these guys are recovering. The Irish Fusiliers. Alright, Grenadiers, do your thing. Hit him. Beautiful. Alright. That's a good one for us to kind of build up our army a little bit, get some more experience, get some money that we can spend on another brigade when the time comes. We only gained 104 thalers from that. Oh, we did get earthworks basic. That's nice. Got some Neustadt carbines. Light saddles. Tea rations. I think I want the veterancy though, right? Yeah, the thalers aren't going to do that much for me, although I could use the ammunition. Okay, we're going to go with that because I need the ammo and the money. And we're still going to get some leveling up from the battle anyway. But nothing enough to get us to the next level. We need one more to make these guys into Jaegers. Winter is coming. Yeah, that's going to make provisions kind of get worn out more. We don't have the option to go into winter quarters. Okay, capture the cargo. We're going to see an enemy field army. I think that's probably the way to go. We're going to get 4 items, which is going to help a lot. More importantly, we're going to get another field army to face. I'll go ahead and fight this battle without showing it to you because I want to keep the narrative moving. I want to get us to that final battle. Okay, that one went pretty well. We lost 340 men but inflicted 1,600 casualties. Got a ton of loot from that one as well. And now, of course, some much-needed veterancy. I think we finally have enough for a promotion. Our Gordon Highlanders. Oh, it's 4. No, we need more than 4 now. That's right. We need 7 to make them Highland Grenadiers. That has changed dramatically. 25th Regiment of Foot needs 6. I just don't think we're going to get there with some of these upgrades. At least not in Act 1. We do have another trait for our Highland Brigade commander. Infantry accuracy, but slow down reload speed. Veterancy gain. Yeah, I think we'll go with accuracy and slower reload speed. I do like that idea. There goes all our reinforcements, though, and our ammunition, so we're going to need more of both of those. Okay, we just went to an encampment, and it looks like we have the chance to gain an additional unit. We could get some French Royal Recruits, which we may regret, it says. Some Freikorps, Prussian recruits, or Russian frontier recruits. Let's go with the Prussians. At least that makes a little more sense for us. So they're going to be added to our 1st brigade. We do have a 3rd brigade now. No officer to lead legislative. I might have the money for an officer, but that'd pretty well wipe me out. But this is at least going to get me up to what I think could be a decent sized force as we are about to face the boss army. That is not the boss army. He actually decided he isn't interested in fighting us, actually. Re-enlist. Oh, we can add some reservists. That actually really helps. So, last chance to kind of go in before the boss army hits. And let's go ahead and see. We've got a few things we can sell here that we're not using. I don't think that's going to be enough to get us one more unit, though. We certainly have room for a couple more units. We could add some subsidy recruits. Or some redcoat recruits. I think I'd probably rather have the redcoat recruits. I don't have enough to buy an officer, that's okay. But that's going to get us up to 10,000 men. I hope that's enough to take on this boss army. Here we go. Enemy headquarters mustered. Our scouts report the enemy headquarters has mustered its full army and is marching to engage us. Columns move on the main road with advanced guards out. Expect contact within days. We cannot outrun them. Yeah, so the boss army moves really fast. It's not really a unit that you can avoid. So you can see here he's got 15,000 men. But judging by the quality of the previous units we fought, I feel like these are pretty good odds for us. We have, oh, these guys are hardcore. Look at those guys. That is a tough unit, the Diesbach Fusiliers. Row recruits, different story. Like, look at the morale on some of these units. 75 for them. 55 for the French Grenadiers. So we've got to watch for where the... Yeah, that's the main unit, the Diesbach Fusiliers. We've got to watch for where those are. Because we need to match up some of our best units against them and at least get 2 or 3 units firing on them. All right, here we go. So let's take a look, see where we can see where they are on the battlefield. They're probably going to be at his center. Actually, I don't see them. Lots of recruits over on his right. The Diesbach Fusiliers are all the way over on his left. So let's, you know what, we're going to dig in behind this river. We've got the Brunswick Musketeers, we've got the Highland Grenadiers, and the Black Watch over there. Those are some new units. I mean, they're not bad units at all. Actually, the Highland Grenadiers have pretty high morale themselves. I think that's okay. I think our Highlanders can take these guys on. All right, so let's dig in behind the river and wait. First things first, we're going to get our artillery up on this hill, and we're going to get them firing on the Diesbach Fusiliers over here. Of course, it's a tough ask to try and hit them at an angle like that, so maybe that's not the best way to do this. Maybe we should go at somebody who's a little... Yeah, let's go at somebody who's a little more in front of us. He's trying to get around my flank over here. So we're going to stretch our line a little bit. We've got some room to do that. Redcoat recruits might get the first volley in here. He's mostly got recruits on this side. I'm digging in behind this fence as best I can. Get a little bit of cover. There we go. Black Watch has already unloaded a little bit. No, they didn't, actually. I expected that they would have fired by now, but they haven't. There they go. Redcoat recruits aren't quite in range. His Grenadiers are very wisely sitting just out of range of my Redcoat recruits. Diesbach Fusiliers just exposed their flank to me. Because they're turning and they're going to try to cut across now. So Highland Grenadiers, now's your chance, guys. Hit them. Oh, they're moving. Hurry up. Fire. There you go. Oh, we just mowed down the end of his line there. Oh, he's trying to load up on the Black Watch. I see what's going on here. Alright. The problem is he's just out of range of my Redcoat recruits. I'm going to have to push them forward into the creek in order to be able to fire. But I want the Black Watch firing on the Diesbach Fusiliers because we want to wipe them out as quickly as we can. So I want the Highland Grenadiers and the Black Watch both firing on these guys. Alright, on the other side, his cav is trying to get all the way to the edge of the map over there. So we're going to send our cav to cover that flank. Our Grenadiers are going to have no trouble with these row of recruits, especially since we've got 2 units. The 25th Regiment of Foot's going to be firing on them as well. Freikorps recruits don't appear to have the range on the Fusiliers, so I'm going to have to send them forward. Who's charging? Oh, it's his Grenadiers. Look at that. Oh, that's actually pretty smart on his part. So here's what we're going to have to do. We're going to have to send the Gordon Highlanders to go help out because these recruits are not going to hold up against heavy infantry. Oh, we have been inflicting heavy casualties on the Diesbach Fusiliers. I am worried about this right here, though, with the Grenadiers. And I can't fire canister at them because we've got units in the way. Alright, Gordon Highlanders. It's up to you. Oh, their morale's holding. I love it. These Grenadiers are not going to manage. Gordon Highlanders aren't really taking any casualties. Their morale is holding really well. I think we got them. Oh yeah, we're lighting up the elite unit of his army. Combination of the Black Watch and the Highland Grenadiers. They're doing their job. Black Watch is taking some casualties. Their morale's down to 15. They are in danger of breaking, but I think we're going to break him first. This is still going over here. We just can't seem to get the Grenadiers morale down all the way. It's about, yeah, they're about to break. What's going on over here? Oh, he pulled my Grenadiers across. All right, back off, guys. Come on. I sent my Grenadiers forward. Oh, you know, that's what happened. His cavalry charged into my Grenadiers. That wasn't smart. Charged the one spot I've got heavy cavalry. Or heavy infantry. Alright, we drove off the Grenadiers. Oh, we shattered the Diesbach Fusiliers. Oh, that's awesome. Lovely. Lovely, lovely. He's trying to get around me over here with these row recruits. That is not going to fly. So my cav can actually fire. So let's go ahead and get them over there, and they can just help cover that flank. All right, recruits, do your thing. All right, Gordon Highlanders can go ahead and fall back to their original position. Man, look at that line of dead from the Diesbach Fusiliers. We just tore them up. Alright, right flank is secure. Now the battle is mainly at the center and left, where I've got recruits. The Gordon Highlanders are kind of anchoring these 2 lines of recruits. Maybe it wasn't best to have my weakest unit in the center, but it worked out okay. Alright, we got to watch here because the Grenadiers are exposed on their flank, and we know from our doctrine that we have an issue with that. I'm going to send the 25th Regiment of Foot across. Okay, I think it's just clean up at this point. Oh, here comes this cav again, charging into my heavy infantry. What are you thinking, dude? That is the one unit on the line you don't want to charge into. Literally any other unit that I have in my army would have been better than the Grenadiers. Alright, let's shatter that cav. Yeah, they're going to get away before I get the chance. Fusiliers are coming back. Alright, we got to turn our facing. Melee attack. Get those recruits out of here. Alright, 25th Regiment of Foot. There we go. Victory in the boss battle. Can't complain about that one bit. But it's going to get way, way harder in Act 2. I assure you of that. My past experience is that the difficulty increases exponentially in Act 2. We got a lot of loot. 1,500 casualties, inflicted 4,300. So we do carry this army into the next one. We captured 1,900 men. That's awesome. We could get a lot of conscripts here. 1,500 reservists. We get a lot of money and ammunition. We can get a ton of veterancy. I need that veterancy and all those provisions. That helps a lot. We can always buy more recruits as we need. Looks like our 1st Brigade commander gets an upgrade. Stamina recovery speed. Now morale damage dealt. Ooh, a 20% increase to morale damage dealt. Yes, please. That's fantastic. Here go all our recruits. There goes what little ammunition we have. So we're definitely going to have to build those things up. I don't think we have anybody. Well, the Redcoat recruits, we can make them foot. Yeah, I think we'll go British foot here. So we'll need another regiment of foot. We'll come up with a name before we get into Act 2 for them. Our provincial cav can become light dragoons or dragoons. What's the difference, you say? Dragoons have more men, slightly less accuracy, a little less stamina. Overall, though, I think I want dragoons, so I think we'll wait until we hit level 5 for that. Our Brunswicker musketeers are now Jaegers. You can see, of course, they don't have any kind of charge or melee. You do not want to use your light infantry in those situations, but these Jaegers can be deadly on the battlefield. So pretty excited about getting them going. All right. I think that's all the upgrades that we're going to do. So we'll go ahead and get into Act 2, and then we'll wrap it up right there. We get to choose a doctrine. 15% casualties restored after a battle would be helpful, but 15% morale reveals all settlements in each region. I feel like there's other ways we can get the morale bonuses. I'm going to take the restored casualties through the field hospitals. Now we pick our Act 2. What do we need to do? All of them involve dismantling 5 slums. So do we want the doctrine of choice is the one we want to go after. Light infantry tactics. Infantry focus. I think we're going to suppress Normandy. Revenge for William the Conqueror. So we're going to get into Act 2 right there, but we're going to stop right there, and we'll come back with Act 2 in our next episode. I think that's a good place to stop. Let me know your thoughts. If you have any questions, let me know that as well. I'll try to get those answered for you. Thanks for watching.